Leipzig, Leipzig und Musik ist wie eine wilde Idee.
Miteinander verbunden werden mit der Notenspur.
The Leipzig Music Trail connects 23 places which are important in the history of music. They include many places where great composers such as Bach, Telemann, Schumann, Mendelssohn, Wagner and Grieg lived and worked. These separate places have now been interlinked using a system of directions comprising steel inlays in the pavement to guide visitors along the Leipzig Music Trail. At each stop, a scene can be heard which conjures up the atmosphere of that time, allowing visitors to find out more about the composers and their families. Related examples of music can be heard to help visitors better acquaint themselves with the musical eras concerned.
Johann, Sebastian, Bach. What are you doing here?
Yes, it's me. But I must say I'd rather be rehearsing with the boys than coming to the council to beg for money.
This is a huge opportunity, including for tourism. It's a chance to bring home to people the city's musical heritage, and they can get a feel for it by visiting these historic places one after the other. The Leipzig Music Trail takes something which is difficult to explain and brings it to life.
Doch habt Mut, die Leidenschaft kann größer werden. Habt Mut, nur Mut.
Viele von den berühmten Musikern nach Bach.
Many of the famous post-Bach composers came to Leipzig because of Bach, even though he wasn't as popular then as he is today.
Weil sie wussten, da lässt sich, so wie es Mozart.
But they realized, just as Mozart said during his visit to Leipzig, that Bach was someone they could learn from.
Musiker gewusst und gesehen.
Can I help you, Miss Marie?
Mistress asked me to bid you come to lunch.
Yes, thank you very much. Here, Mr. Mozart, all the motets.
Mozart? I'll have to tell that to my mistress.
Das ist so meine Hoffnung bei
I hope that the Leipzig Music Trail won't just be interesting to tourists. I hope that the people of Leipzig will find it interesting too, as it will give them a chance to easily find out about the heritage that exists on their doorstep. What makes this campaign special is doubtless the fact that it was launched by members of the public instead of being dreamt up by politicians. Citizens of Leipzig came together to reflect on how best to display the world cultural heritage that we already have, even if it doesn't bear this title.
The Borse family was a prosperous, well-known family of merchants in Leipzig who dealt in gold and silver, but they were also friends with the Bach family. And that's what's so important to us today. Johann Sebastian Bach spent 27 years in Leipzig and lived at St. Thomas's School, which was demolished in 1902. We thus no longer have the building where Bach lived. But we do have the house where the Borse family lived. They lived opposite the Bachs. They were friends with them, and they became the godparents of many of their children. It's quite conceivable that the Bach family frequently dropped in at what is now Borse House, and this accounts for our interest in the Borse family and the close links between the Bachs and the Borses.
Anna Magdalena, be so kind as to lend us your enchanting voice. Come to the harpsichord and sing something from the notebook I gave you. Perhaps the Stölzel aria. I'll accompany you.
Yes, I'd love to. I'm just coming.
Felix Mendelssohn moved into this house with his family in 1845 and unfortunately died here far too young on the 4th of November 1847. Being the place where he actually lived makes Mendelssohn House unique. People come here from all over the world to the only museum devoted to Felix Mendelssohn in order to see this place and soak up its atmosphere. And of course, that's what makes this building so special within the music trail as well.
My dear Cecile, I happened to be in the neighbourhood, and since I needed to talk to Felix about the forthcoming concert, I just thought I'd see if anyone was at home.
Leipzig has so much more to offer. This is now beautifully revealed by the Leipzig Music Trail, since we can now visit all the places which Leipzig has to offer and where we can learn so much. When we see Bach, we have a wonderful point of view in musical history, which we can envisage and explore. When we look at Mendelssohn, we see a very important development in the city of music. But the list also includes Schumann and definitely Mahler, and we mustn't forget Grieg or Lortzing either. We have so many people who have made Leipzig important and interesting, and we need to display all this musical heritage to our visitors.
Good day, sir. I'm afraid the publishers are out.
Well, actually, I was looking for Mr. Grieg.
In that case, please come in, sir. Mrs. Grieg's in the music room, but her husband must have gone out.
To be frank, of course we intend to use the Leipzig Music Trail to promote tourism as well. We'd love to use the music trail, as well as later on the music trip and the music trek, for international marketing. We've drawn up programs and activities with our marketing company, including for coach tour companies and cultural tour operators. Leipzig is a major tourist destination, as proven by the more than 2 million overnight stays here every year. Music is of course a way to boost tourism. Bach, Mendelssohn, Schumann and Wagner, whose bicentenary we'll be celebrating next year, are names that can be used to market Leipzig as a tourist destination in places like Japan, the USA and Australia. The idea of connecting people, places and things runs throughout the project. The Leipzig Music Trail links up the different musical eras in Leipzig, spanning a period of centuries. It connects institutions that previously each campaigned for themselves, and it creates a common brand for our musical history, enabling us to intensify our activities and to proclaim this as our common heritage. The trail fronts a precious asset of ours, of course. We can also use the Leipzig Music Trail to promote tourism. The project hence has a wide range of different effects.
Look, here's the score. I've already given it to Mendelssohn to size up, and he wants to perform it at the Gewandhaus.
I'm sure your Spring Symphony will have the audience jumping out of their seats in excitement.
Well, it would be enough for me if it got bums on seats in the first place.
In the exhibition, you can admire the instruments and the associated composers and personalities of any particular era from the 16th century to the end of the 20th century.
Oh, the dynamics, the sound. I believe they call it a pianoforte these days. Piano. Forte. I just wish they'd been around in my day.
We're located halfway between Mendelssohn House and Schumann House, very close to the erstwhile St. John's Church on one side and the old cemetery of St. John on the other.
And now to Bach. There are loads of Bachs, but none of them the right one.
We're using this project for social and emotional development. After all, music is such a fantastic thing. It's a fantastic art that brings us together and reaches the soul without words.